Hello students of 10th class. Welcome back to the class, biology class. Today we are going to start our discussion with the forest topic. As you know that we are talking about the sustainable management of natural resource, and I hope you are paying your attention, and along with that, at the time of listening this lecture or at the time of self study from NCRT, kindly make the notes from your side. That notes making process will make you learn a lot, and it is very useful for the future reference also. So let us talk about the forest. Children, you know about this forest and all, but again the discussion is very important so that you can understand few things if it is not in your knowledge, right? So forests are an important renewable natural resource dominated mainly by the trees forming a sort of canopy. They are essential for the ecological balance of all ecosystem, and they maintain the biological ecosystem. That means, as you know that the forest which can be recovered after planting it, so we can say that forest is a renewable resources, and mainly the forest is consists with a tree. Apart from these, the tree may be small, maybe big size. There have a separate or unique canopy. That means two long plants can be found in the forest, or two small plants can also be found. And apart from these, so many animals and organisms, those who depend on the plants, can be seen. And overall, we can say that these forests play a very important role in maintenance of ecological balance or ecosystem balance, because we know that the forest plant or any plant is a producer, and producer is a main member of any kind of ecosystem. So forests play a very important role to maintain an ecosystem and provide various valuable things for the all living system or for the mankind. Now let us talk about the water harvesting system. Water harvesting is again a very important topic, and you might be heard that Nagar Nigam or the government, they declare some guideline for the builders so that they can establish some setup which is related to the harvesting of water at the time of constructing the building and all, so that the future shortage of water can be solved from here. But it is what about the residential, but in our country there will be a various way through which water is going to collected and for the various different purpose. That means aim of this water harvesting is to develop a primary source of land and water, and to produce secondary source of the plant and animals for the uses in a manner which will not cause ecological imbalance. That means if we are going to harvest the water, we are going to save the water. That time we are going to protect the environment from any disaster due to excess of water. And secondly, we are going to save the water for a particular uses, and by doing so we can contribute for the ecological imbalance which is very common nowadays. So it is a very important topic for you to understand their importance. Now here we are going to learn about the various method or the various name of the water harvesting method used from ancient time in the various different state. So as you can see here that the method means the Khadin system or the tanks or the nadins. So Khadins, tanks and nadis is the name of the water harvesting bodies which is used in Rajasthan from the ancient time. Apart from these, there is a bandh, or you can say that bandras or the tal, which is used in case of Maharashtra. So these are the different terms used for the harvesting of the water in the different states, because you know that different states have different language. That's why they have almost same setup, and the purpose is also same, but they are calling differently, and there will be a little different in their structure or the water bodies. Apart from these bandhis or the bandh, you can say, but which is used in case of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Apart from these, in Bihar state, pines and pahis is used. Pahis and pines can be used word for water harvested body in case of Bihar from ancient time and now also. Now there is a kulhas. Kulhas is an water harvesting system by the Himachal Pradesh peoples or the farmers. Apart from these, ponds can be used for the water harvesting body in case of Jammu region. Now Iris, or you can say that tanks, is an important water harvesting bodies in case of the Tamil Nadu. So from here you can understand the different word or terms used for the water harvesting bodies. Now other is what the bellies. Bellies is an old method of harvesting water in the Delhi and nearby the Delhi region. So it is again a very popular word used for the water harvesting as a water harvesting body in the Delhi and nearby region, Delhi region. These techniques are also specific to ensure that mismanagement and over exploitation of these resources can be maintained. That means the misuses of the water and over exploitation of the water can be saved by having this method, and this understanding is already existing in the society of the ancient time, and now this time also it is going to be encouraged. Now advantage of water harvesting system, we are going to discuss here what are the advantage. You know that many more advantages you can understand, but let us talk these all things point wise. Water does not evaporate. That means if there is a rainwater and rainwater fall over the large surface area of the ground, so it is going to evaporate it due to larger surface area. So it is better to harvest the water to keep in the tank or the ponds or in any other farm or in any other water bodies, so that their evaporations can be minimized, so that the water can be available for the longer time. Now this water harvesting recharge well and moisture for the vegetation is again a very important. That means harvested water can be used to use for the vegetations for the irrigation purpose, or if there is a water body, so nearby water table is going to recharge, and the house or the village nearby the water bodies is not going to suffer for any kind of problem related to the groundwater. Apart from these, water harvesting does not provide breeding ground for the mosquito also. That means if water is simply stagnant over the ground surface, it may allow the growth of various pathogens or growth of the various vector, that including mosquito. So that is a breeding site for the mosquito, that is stagnant water. So the harvested water is also going to minimize the chances of mosquito breeding. So it is also one of the benefit or goodness of the water harvesting system. Apart from these, groundwater is protected from contaminated by the human and animal waste. That means after rainfall, we know that there is a flow of water, and if water flow, they used to carry the so many wastes, so many toxic things. It may be human excreta or animal excreta, and these flow with human excreta is going to meet the land where there is a boring or the holes or the tube well, and this may contaminate the groundwater. So we can say that if we are going to harvest the water, it is not going to flow unnecessary, and it may prevent the contamination of the groundwater. So it is another uh, benefit purpose of water harvesting. Now, other things, that means the pollution of water. That means the pollution of water is caused by the dumping of untreated sewage and industrial waste into it. That is called as pollution of water. So we already study about the water as a resource. What are the different method of harvesting the water? What is the benefit of water harvesting? And many more. Apart from these, we are going to talk on issue which is related to the water, that is the water pollutions. As you know that the water, most of the water bodies is polluted just because of the sewage water and the industrial wastes. But the sewage water is the common pollutant which came from the household, from the cities, from the living area. The contamination of river water can be usually found from the two factors. Let us discuss about that factor, the contaminations. The presence of coliform bacteria in the river water and measure of pH for the river water. That means any water bodies nearby us can be studied, can be analyzed, can be identified if we have certain knowledge of the techniques. That means we can check the presence of coliform bacteria, we can check the pH of water nearby our area or the nearby any water bodies. It may be a small river or the big river. So the presence of coliform and the pH is the two parameter which can be used to analyze the purity level of any water bodies. Now you might be heard about the Ganga Action Plan. This Ganga Action Plan is initiated by the government so that the Ganga as a holy river is protected from the pollution, protected from the misuse of their area, and also protected from any damage caused by the local people. So this Ganga Action Plan is a multi-crore project which is initiated in 1985 to improve the quality of Ganga. And why it is known as multi-crore project? Because Ganga river, they run around more than 2,500 kilometer, and many more cities is located nearby this Ganga river, and they are the cause of this pollution. And this plan or this cleaning action of the Ganga or protection of the Ganga required too much contribution of the peoples and the organizations and many more machines, and that's why there is a huge requirement of money, or you can say that the fund. That's why it is called as the multi-crore project. This Ganga Action Plan was formulated to reduce the pollution loads of river Ganga by more than 75%. So always if there is a plan, if there is a system, by the government, so they have some target also. And here in the same way, the Ganga Action Plan was formulated or designed or planned or managed so that the Ganga 75% can be cured from here, from their pollution and many more. The water quality has been tested for time to time by checking the coliform. So we know that the coliform is the group of bacteria which is found in the human intestine. And as you know that the dead bodies or the burned part of the bodies is going to release in the river as a holy, that means the Ganga river. And due to this, many more times it is found that unburned dead body is also going to thrown by the peoples in the Ganga river, as this result into the presence of the coliform bacteria, and it may create great pollutions in the Ganga river. So here the coliform bacteria is the parameter which can be analyzed. That means a group of harmless bacteria in the human intestine. So their number can be checked per 100 ml by the help of analytical method, or due to presence of some machines can be used if advanced technology is available. So by knowing the number of coliform per 100 ml can be detected as a level of pollutions. Accordingly, a survey was conducted and data was collected for the total coliform. So these all thing is done on the basis of the survey in the various cities where the Ganga cross, and in their survey they generate the report of the coliform at a various place. So here we are going to see one of the example of the survey between 1993 to 1994, which is plotted here. As you can see here, that 1993 and 1994, the total coliform bacteria, that bacteria is what, MPN per 100 ml. MPN means the most portable number. Most portable number per 100 ml means per 100 ml how much water is pure, like this. So as you can see here, the minimum found in the Rishikesh. Rishikesh is the name of the place where the minimum MPN per 100 ml is found, that is 60 to 650 MPN per 100 ml. And the minimum desired level is what, the 450 MPN per 100 ml. That is the desire for the minimum, but it is found in Rishikesh, that is what the minimum. Now the maximum is seen after the survey is, which is found in the Kananjua, that is what, the 1400 MPN per 100 ml, that is what maximum. When in 1903 to 94 year, that is the survey year. Now here we are going to discuss about the advantage of water stored in the ground, and this topic we are going to continue in the next video. I hope you understand. Thank you very much.